interest rates are down. I mean, you can get a loan for in the region of between 4 and 7% right now, which is crazy for a house. So, I mean, the repo rate's down at the 3. It's a really good rate. But how's that affecting the market, and how does it affect you? Hey, if you haven't watched this channel before, it's GillT. It's all about property. It's all about Cape Town, all about a bit of fun. Let's get to it, guys. Let's go and talk about this. So yeah, interest rates are really low. So someone commented the other day, and actually made me think a little bit, isn't it rather dangerous to be purchasing a home right now when the interest rates are low, when you know that interest rates could go back up? And how will that affect your pocket? And that's actually a really good question if you think about it, because you're going to go out there and purchase a home. You're going to get, let's say you get 5%. I'm just going to use 5% as a round figure, okay? And you get a 5% loan rate for some odd reason. Fantastic loan rate, and you've purchased your home, and your home's costing you next to nothing. And just suddenly interest rates start going back up, and they go back up to 10%. Doubles your interest. So that affects your payment quite severely, to the effect of, on a 2.5 million rand loan, it could affect your payment by more than 5,000 rand. So it's quite a serious effect if interest rates start going back up at quite a rate. And you do know that when you take a loan, your interest rate tends to fluctuate unless you manage to get a fixed rate at say 6 or 7% or something to that effect, and you know it's going to stay there for 20 years. But just remember, if you do that as well, if the interest rates are higher and you're paying less, you're paying more on your interest than on your capital amount, because they don't say that your interest is 7% and that's it. You're supposed to be paying 10% and they're charging you 7%. That deficit they're taking off you. Okay, so you don't get that back. So if you've got a fixed rate, doesn't mean you're in a great place. It just means you don't have to pay that amount. That's all it means. And then, most people want to pay off their capital debt quicker, not slower at the end of the day. So what you effectively end up doing with a fixed rate, if the interest rates go high, is you end up paying your debt slower. And it's better to pay it off quicker. So for example, if you're paying on a 5% and you're paying more of the interest, you're paying more than you expected to pay, you can pay your bond off in half the time and that sort of thing. So loans are tricky when it comes to this scenario. But what I will say is you've got to be careful of this scenario, and that is taking a fixed rate or something to that, because you're worried about the future. Now, why are you worried about the future? That's the big question. And as I said the other day, I could feel a video coming on about this. What's there to worry about? We've just gone through a pandemic. We've just gone through a serious economic turn, and they've dropped the interest rates to the lowest they've been since 1973. Now, that's not to say that the interest rates might not go back up slightly. That might happen. But will they double? Will they go flying up into the distance? Most probably not. They'll most probably stay at a reasonable level, let's say, okay? They won't go flying into the distance. So what I'm saying to you is, if you've got a salary today and you've budgeted for a 5% bond repayment, I don't see that it's going to affect you in the long term, because the interest rates might go up over the next 3-4 years, okay? In that time, you're going to get pay rises, pay increases, your salary is going to get better, inflation's going to go up, okay? So you should be able to stay with that kind of coverage. So if the interest rates were to go up by 0.25 of a basis point or 0.5% even, I don't think it's going to affect you bad enough in a year or 2 years to hurt your pocket that bad. Okay, so you're actually panicking for nothing, because the amount that it's going to go up really shouldn't affect you. And I doubt very much that it'll fly up so fast that you'll go out of pocket. Yes, there is the danger of that, but I doubt very much that would happen in this inflationary environment, because they're trying to keep things as they are. So are you in danger if you purchase a home at such low rates? No. Your increase in payment is probably going to be quite minimal, and it's probably not going to affect you. So always use this example, okay? Let's say you purchased a home 20 years ago, and you purchased it for a couple of $100,000. It's worth 3.5 million rand now, right? And you're paying 2,000 rand a month, and you've almost paid your bond off. Imagine if you were paying 2,000 rand a month for your house now. And that's what I learned 20 years ago when I saw a friend of mine paying 145 rand a month for his house, and I had to pay 2,000 rand, and I was like, what? Because 2,000 rand was like a huge chunk of your salary back in those days. Now, if you look at it, you'd be paying 25,000 rand, and you're paying 2,000 rand. I mean, if you've got a 3.5 million rand house, you'd be paying 35,000 rand, and you're paying 2,000 rand a month, okay? So that's why it catches up. Inflation catches up. So I call it the best saving scheme in the world, because you're forced to pay for the house, so you're forced to save the money, and 20 years down the line you don't have a rent to pay, you don't have a home to pay for, it's all paid for. And even if you move and you upgrade, I mean, you're never going to end up paying what a first-time home buyer has to pay, because you've got that capital amount that you're getting from your first home. So you're not going to make a profit on your home. There's no profit involved here. You're just going to get your savings money back, and you're going to use it for the next home. Because where's the profit in if you sell this home and buy that home? It's going to cost you the same anyway if you stay next door. Let's be honest. I mean, you're not going to make a profit effectively, but you are going to get all that money you've saved back, and you're going to use it for your next home. And whether you buy the same level of home and you've got nothing to pay for, or whether you buy a much better home and you pay more, or when maybe you want to live on the coast or the beach line or something and pay more, you can. You see? So that's where it comes about. That sort of comes back. So, for example, if you start paying 20,000 rand a month today, you'll be paying 20,000 rand a month next year and 20,000 rand a month the year after. And the only time that payment will go up slightly is if the interest rates go up. And it will go up as per the interest rate. But if you look at the history of interest rates, they go up in increments. And there's normally a couple of quarters a year where they discuss the finances and they'll increase the rates. And they normally increase them by 0.25, 0.5. Okay? So they don't increase them by 10% or anything like that. So you should be fine. Even if it goes up a percentage point in the year, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to go from 5 to 6%, it's not going to kill you. And it's going to take them a couple of years to go up that couple of percent, and by then you will have caught up inflationary increases, that sort of thing. You should be fine. So I don't think there's anything to be afraid of, guys. So I'm just talking a little bit about interest rates today and where you are and why should you be afraid to purchase a home at these levels. This is the time to purchase. It's the best time in the world to purchase, because you can pay the same for something you own as for what you're renting, and at the end of the day, if you catch up, you'll own it and you'll be ahead of the game. Okay, so think about that, especially if you're young. Get into the market and purchase your home. So with that, guys, hey, if you're real estate agents, don't forget to pop down and get the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's a fantastic book. It'll really, really, really help you in your career. It'll get you going. Really good for you. The book Shift as well. It'll teach you how to shift in these conditions and economic conditions and what have you. Brilliant books. Go check it out. And while you're here, like, comment, and subscribe so you can watch the next video. So hey guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, cheers. It's Rob GillT.